A father walked into his daughter's room just as she was about to undress. In an instant, he killed her. When the mother rushed in after hearing the commotion, she too was murdered by her husband's hand. Then the father entered his son Frank's room. Frank greeted him with joy, unaware that what awaited him was the cold barrel of a gun. In the end, only the father remained. He turned the gun on himself and pulled the trigger. He did this because he had been engaged in an illicit relationship with his own daughter. And this horrifying truth was witnessed by the girl's classmate, Tom. The next day, Tom told everyone what he had seen and publicly shamed the girl at school. When the father, a man of high social standing, realized his scandal was exposed, he was consumed with shame. That was why he chose to wipe out his family before killing himself. But what no one expected was that his son Frank miraculously survived. 20 years later, Frank, now grown and the heir to his father's fortune, discovered the truth behind the massacre. Convinced that Tom was the root cause of everything, he swore to take revenge. On a rainy night, Tom spotted a beautiful woman and tried to approach her only to be abducted. When he awoke, he found himself naked and locked inside a room, with nothing but a nightgown in the drawer. The steel door made it clear he was imprisoned. He screamed for help, but no one came. At mealtimes, food was pushed through a slot, dumplings and a bottle of liquor, and nothing else. After a month of this, Tom was near collapse, numbing himself with alcohol. The only relief was a television in the room. But sometimes, a strange gas seeped from the vent, putting him to sleep. During these blackouts, someone would take samples of his saliva, hair, and even bodily fluids. One day, Tom saw a news report on TV. His wife had been murdered, and he had been named the prime suspect. His 3-year-old daughter was sent to an orphanage. Tom knew he had been framed, yet he was powerless to clear his name. Over time, hallucinations set in. Even a small white mouse that appeared in his cell became his only comfort, until it too vanished. Then came a meal that pushed him into total despair. He smashed a mirror and tried to kill himself, but was revived, only to find surveillance cameras installed everywhere, stripping him of all privacy. Years passed. Disheveled and broken, Tom eventually saw a TV program about his own story. Only then did he realize 5 years had gone by. On the screen, he saw his daughter playing the violin, his only reason to live. He began to write her letters, gave up alcohol, trained his body, and wrote down every name of those he might have wronged, swearing he would take revenge. In the bathroom, the only place without cameras, he started digging a tunnel to escape. After years of work, Tom finally broke free. But on the way out, he remembered the letters for his daughter and turned back. On TV, he caught sight of her in an interview, now a celebrated violinist. Mesmerized, he forgot the gas and collapsed again. Days later, Tom was stuffed into a suitcase and dumped in the wilderness. Alongside him were money, the letters he'd written, and his body cleaned and groomed. He spotted a familiar woman's figure, chased after her, and realized he was mistaken. They fought until a volunteer named Jenny intervened, gave him her business card, and defused the fight. Tom later sought help from his childhood friend Jack, but soon a mysterious caller mocked him, urging him to figure out why he had been imprisoned, and promising he would see his daughter once he understood. Together, Tom and Jack hunted for clues. Overcome with stress, Tom fainted, and Jenny was called to care for him. While he slept, she discovered the letters he'd written to his daughter and resolved to help him. Tom realized his only lead was the dumplings he'd eaten for 20 years. In Chinatown, he traced them back to a restaurant. Following a delivery man, he knocked him out with a hammer, posed as the courier, and subdued the guards. They captured William, the manager of the illegal prison, who confessed he only worked for wealthy clients and knew nothing about their identities, only that Tom had been ordered confined for 20 years. When alarms blared, Tom escaped but was stabbed. He barely made it to Jack's shop, where Jenny treated his wounds. Soon after, the mysterious man contacted him again. It was Frank. But instead of killing him, Frank invited him to a game. If Tom won, he would see his daughter and receive a confession letter, a recording of his wife's murder, and a trove of diamonds. If he lost, his daughter's life would be in danger. Frank showed him a video of Jenny being kidnapped. When Tom went to rescue her, William caught him again, but Frank paid William to let him go. Jack, meanwhile, was murdered for offending Frank's sister. In the school archives, Tom and Jenny uncovered the truth. In high school, Tom had exposed the scandal between Frank's father and sister, triggering the family's downfall. Determined, Tom faced Frank alone. He defeated Frank's bodyguard, only to see his daughter's image on the screen. Frank revealed the true reason for his revenge and led Tom to the basement. There, Tom learned a horrifying truth. The daughter he had seen on television was a stand-in. Jenny, the woman he had grown to love, was actually his real daughter. The revelation shattered him. Frank, having exacted his final revenge, took his own life. Consumed by shame, Tom sent the diamonds to Jenny and then returned voluntarily to the very prison that had held him captive for 20 years.